Like this stuff.
But the reason I said that because you were saying I now remember Buddy was saying that the rent there was like 3,500.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. That's why you were
The
saying
rent
I
was
didn't live there.
right. the rent was
No, 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 no,
3,500.
no, no. You didn't live there.
Hey.
Nah, cuz you didn't live there. Trust me, you
Right.
didn't live there.
I mean, you didn't live in some
You was
nice ones. I
trying
ain't
to
gonna lie.
tell you was
Yeah,
trying to
you
tell me not you didn't live at this one, cuz trust
right,
me.
right. Like, I'm telling you, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? But that's when Buddy said that rent was 3,500. I was like, damn, for this little ass apartment.
Yeah,
and,
that
and
was
I
a
was like, man,
Buckhead. But
we
that's
we paying.
Buckhead, you know.
I'm
That's the
paying
cost of
twelve
living in
hundred,
Buckhead.
and yeah, I'm paying 1,200, and my apartment double the size of this.
Yeah,
So it wasn't that to me. I mean, you pay
living
for
above
what you
your
want,
means.
not for
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. You
yeah,
you pay for what you want, not for what you don't. I teach my kids that all the time. Pay for what you want, not for what you don't. But me,
yeah.
I cool. I stick with that 1,200 big boy thing. You know what I'm saying? Other than I don't need to live downtown. There's too much traffic down there.
Yeah,
I
but
don't even like driving.
sometimes the cost of living could force people to live above their means
Right.
because let's say they want their kids to go to school in a certain area and receive a certain type of education, be in a certain environment. You know what I mean? But the cost of living in that environment could be higher, or
Hmm.
the taxes, or whatever, and that's kind of out of people's control. Now, the cost of living that or living above your means, where people are talking about mostly, is basically spending money that they don't have and they fronting to make it look like something. And things are suffering that mean more than what they're spending their money on. Like having the necessities of keeping a roof over their head, taking care of their responsibilities. They're living above
Hmm.
their means to look lavish without handling their responsibilities, without building their net worth, without growing uh, financially, and without growing in their stability. They're sabotaging their stability for to look like something, to go party, to go take lavish
Y'all
trips somewhere.
choosing liabilities over assets.
Yes, all day, and they're throwing all their money away at liabilities and not building their assets. Now, there's some people. We're not talking about people who can afford to do those things. Though we're talking about the individuals who cannot afford to do those things, but they're trying to make it look like they can afford it. And we ain't talking about nobody. We're bringing that to light. I would just say that sometimes cost of living could cause some people to live above their means too, because they may not be throwing their money away on liabilities. They may be focused on necessities, but sometimes those necessities cost so much, even like groceries in a grocery store. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
if you are, if you find yourself in that predicament where it's the cost of living that's causing the individual to live above their means, what should you do in that instance?
Should
What
find somewhere
option?
cheaper to stay.
Hustle harder.
Should find somewhere more affordable.
You
Shit,
can
it ain't
definitely
what.
find somewhere more affordable.
Yeah, that should be number one. Find somewhere more affordable. If damn it, Pete, you do this every damn time. You do this every damn time because you're finna bring me into the other question that I asked you the other day. And let me run it back. Watch this. I'm finna show you. Damn it, and you do it every time. Let me find it. Survival versus sacrifice.
Indeed.
You just hit it, right? You can live
What are you
above your
willing to
means,
sacrifice to survive?
right? Because if if you feel like, oh, I want my kids to go to this school, but shit, you're gonna be homeless. Your kid might can't go to that school for a while. Sometimes you gotta dumb that shit. You gotta sacrifice that school. Well, somebody gonna say, I'll just sacrifice the lights so he can go to school because this is a top-notch school. I'll just sacrifice it. And again, it's your prerogative. You do whatever works best for you. But if it comes down to survival, if it comes down to survival, you know, that's why I say assets versus liabilities, right? What's going to appreciate, or what's the other word you just used? Necessities,
Yeah,
right? This
necessity.
is a necessity. A necessity: lights, roof, clothes, food, shelter. This is a necessity. Not the best car. Shit, they got buses. You know what I'm saying? They don't got to be the best school as long as you can get education. If your son or daughter's not getting the best education at the school, then you learn the curriculum, and you teach them. You know, let them do homeschool. A lot of people learn better like that anyway. But you gotta don't try to keep up with the Joneses, because the
Yeah,
Joneses be over there lying too.
yeah.
They be
So
trying to keep up with the Peters and the Pauls, but they
yeah,
robbing Peter to pay Paul.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So don't try to keep up with nobody, man. Don't For me. Again, I can only speak for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna try to buy a $10,000 car before I buy a house.
Don't buy
That's
a
ass backwards
$100,000 car before you buy
before
a
you
house.
buy a house. You
Shout out,
feel me?
shout
It's
out,
40
the
water,
big
man.
homie
Hey,
40.
40 be giving game.
Yeah, he do
But
if
I
you
don't even
listen.
want to get into 40, nigga. But what 40 say, man, I'll be talking fast. I'll just be listening slow. But
So I,
go
I
ahead.
agree with you, right? But I will say this that I was reading this book about money, right?
What's it called?
Mm. It's by T. Harv Eker, and it's called T. Harv Eker is the author. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the book right now, but T. Harv Eker is the author, and it's called I forgot. But in the book, um, as I was reading his book, I was like, dang, everything that he's talking about in this book is how I approach fitness. And then I realized that, oh, these best practices you're supposed to apply to everything.
Mm,
So, how I teach people to apply to fitness and health, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, you can apply it to financial health. You can apply it to best practices, should be applied to every aspect of your life. I'm reading this dude's book, and he's talking solely about money. But most of the stuff that he's talking about in relation to money is making me smile. So I'm like, that's how I be talking about fitness and lifestyle changes. But he's talking about money in his approach. And it went off in my head. Oh, you're supposed to apply best practices to every aspect of your life. Finding
right.
an area where you can perfect that and then put it into practice there will allow you to take those practices and apply them in other arenas and areas of your life. And one of those best practices that he was speaking about is learning how to get both. The art of being able to get both. A lot of times, and he says wealthy people and poor people. That's how broke or whatever. That's how he
Mm-hmm.
describes it. He says wealthy people always find a way to get both. Poor people find a way to get one or nothing. But they don't figure out how to get both. It's all or nothing. And in situations where if you apply that practice, it may not always work that you get both. But if you come in with that thought of, I'm going to figure out how to make this work without living above my means, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And without sacrificing the best opportunity that I see for myself or my kid or my family, whatever it is. How do I get both? That is a challenge. That's playing chess, and that's a very challenging thing to do. However, if you could start to put your mind to work in that manner and start working on getting both, then you will be in the best practice of achieving goals that might have seemed out of reach. So, for instance, we used a very subtle example of your kid going to school, right? And you said you got to move. You could, and you could commute. That's a way of getting both. For instance, I know some kids. I know this one kid, right,
Mm-hmm.
who went to De La Salle,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't live in the area, but he caught the BART and went to school.
Mm-hmm.
De La Salle. You know what I mean? And it worked out for him because he's now at Cal on a full scholarship,
Mm-hmm.
Cal Berkeley, the university. So his parents did both. They still lived in the community where they lived. He got on the BART and went to school. So a good practice is figuring out and and training your mind to work and always at least gloss over the thought of, can I get both? Can I make this work without living above my means? And how would
Mm-hmm.
that look? And meditate on it until the light goes off and the answer comes to you.